All right. Hello. Sorry, my brain stopped for a second. Hello, welcome to Tribal Council number 9 of the season, also known as the Merge Tribal Council. Um, I'm going to start off with you. Because you got votes last Tribal Council, you are now safe tonight. Um, how is having the safety at the first merge vote help you tackle it?
I mean, for me, it just kind of lets me relax and not have to worry about my name. I mean, compared to the three tribals I've been to this season, I've received votes at two of them and voted in the minority in the third. So for me, this is like I don't have to stress this time. So for me, it just comes down to going with the flow and seeing what people are doing and going with numbers.
Um, Ollie. Let's talk about the dynamics to get here. Numerically speaking, people are talking about tribal lines throughout the swap. However, if we're going to talk about that then formation, we're now at a 7-5. Do you think the formations made during the swap are going to come back here and maybe hang on a little bit?
I think they could always come into play. I think if you're sat here not thinking that, then I'd love to know the confidence you have. But yeah, like we've had our original tribes, we've had our swap tribes. It's like there is so many dynamics now that come into play with even this first vote that you kind of have to take everything into consideration because you never know what could happen, and you just have to be open.
Eleanor, let's talk about being open for a second. It can be hard in a game like Survivor to be open to many possibilities because everybody has their own agenda. So where do you kind of take that ebb and flow at a vote like tonight, where like you need to do what's best for you, but you're not
Yeah.
making waves?
Um, so I've been trying to get to know the people that I haven't met yet. Based on the position I felt like I was in both on my original tribe and my swap tribe, I feel like I am very open to getting to know everybody and seeing who I can collaborate with. There's only one person in the game that I am not open to playing with anymore. Um, and that's who I'm gonna vote for tonight. So yeah,
All right.
that's all.
Lake. So now that, we're at the merge, jury hasn't been brought up yet at all. Jury might start, jury might not start. Where does jury end up on your mind at all?
Um, Final one. No, I don't, it's round after round. If you're thinking about jury, especially with how crazy things were today, then you're in a really fucking tight spot. And I pity you. But I I jury's not my fucking concern. I just making another round. So
Fair, fair. Um, Megan, discussing a vote like tonight, there's many factors that can go into play. Obviously, as people who have played Survivor before, you're going to have your targets that are more obvious and less subtle. Do you think tonight's going to be a night people go for an obvious target or one that might not seem as so obvious?
Well, I think at this point here, we've got 12 excellent players. It's a returnee season, we're here to play. So I think, you know, there could be justification for any of the 12 of us to be targets. I mean, we know there's two people that won't get votes because they're immune, but there's out of the other 10, you could justify. Hold on. The word I was trying to say is justifiably, make a case for anybody. So I think there's definitely a lot going into the vote, and it's really just a matter of, you know, I'm gonna bring it back to my last tribal, who you sharing your damn cheesecake with.
Um, I love that. Cam, welcome to your first CTC Merge Tribal Council. Um, Now, what are the kind of people you want to share your cheesecake with, Cam? What
Um,
are the kinds of players that wanna join in with you?
you know, first off, I fuck with cheesecake hardcore. My mom makes some fire cheesecake. So like I'm open to letting anybody have some cheesecake. Like just as long as we can have like some communication, like talk with each other, like just people that generally like give off the good vibes and somebody that I feel like I can trust long term. Like, feel free. I've got a fridge full of cheesecake. Just ask me for some, please. And thank you for sending me merch. Woo!
Um, Derek, shifting in to tonight's vote, obviously there's going to be ramifications leading further into the merge from this point. What kind of tone do you think this vote's going to set for the remainder of the game?
Well, first off, I would just like to say that I would have loved a question about cheesecake because I plan to say that everybody can have some of my cheesecake as well. We could put a little whipped cream on top. Maybe even somebody could have my cherry. Anyone?
I I
But
think that one's
the the parameters of this vote, I feel like the merge vote usually sets the tone for the remainder of the game. This sets up for not only how the game is going to be played, but potentially where the starting battlegrounds lie. But it also doesn't necessarily mean that it has to stick to that either. Things change. This game can be fluid if people allow it to be. But there is a big importance on this vote, but also in my mind, there also isn't. It just depends on how people view it and how they view the people moving forward.
Eric, Derek gave a very, insightful answer, which I think is insightful for any merge vote, honestly, is that you can't be so dead set on the outcome of the first vote. Do you think that the relationships that are currently in play with this vote are going to change or are not necessarily ones that will stay the same?
I think I'm hoping that, you know, things change and stay the same, I guess, in a sense. Like, I hope that people are willing to change and be open, and some people are willing to stay open and not change from that. I think it just depends on how you kind of view everyone and view how people are also viewing the game and kind of like, what their relationships are like. So I think it's every person, I guess it's not really black or white. It's kind of just more gray.
Okay. Kim, welcome to your first merge tribal ever. Super exciting, super fun. Well, it's just not as exciting because I always find merge tribal councils very exhausting and stressful as a player. But as somebody who's never experienced a merge before, what kind of anticipations do you have coming into this situation?
Yeah, going into today, I was very fluid about where I was going to go, but receiving a nasty, hateful text message or, sorry, DM 10 minutes before the vote, I've made up my mind and I know where I'm going tonight. And so I hope that people can respect that. And I don't think that there's any room in the game for a nasty, hateful message. So, I think for me, going into merge, I had a lot of expectations. I was hoping that people would understand it was a game, that things happen in the game that are just game and don't take it personally. And apparently that was not received. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, great. And Jay, um, what do you take on the climate of the 12 people right now? What kind of group is this as a whole?
Um, I think this group is interested to see kind of where the tribe goes from here. Um, I think, Derek and a few other people put it best that the first vote always sets the tone for at least the next phase of the game. And so I think people are, I've had calls with people that are nervous. I've been nervous. I've had calls with people that have been excited. I've been excited. And so I think there's a lot of emotions on this vote. I think there's a lot of anticipation for what's to come. And I think people are just all kind of interested to see what the results are.
All right. Well, with that being said, does anybody have anything else they would like to add before we go to the vote? Okay. It is 10:18. I'm gonna give you until 10:22 tonight to lock in your votes. It's a lovely gift from Jonald that you get an extra minute, which means one more full minute of you having to do shout outs for Karen.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, as always, is the time for shout outs. Please say hi to your prod chat guest, the VL, your pets if they're around, Tollus, anyone and everyone. Fill this silence. Thank you.
Shout out Tola, just because everyone else seems to do it, so I'll keep the trend going.
Shout out to my prod guests, Grace, Seb, and pop star sensation Julie Ragbeer.
Shout out my podcast, you know who you are. Also, shout out Survivor Now podcast, go subscribe.
Shout out to my progress, my wonderful husband who drove me across the state and back to celebrate with lots of great people. Grace and Jeremy, of course, the VL. Hope you are enjoying the season so far. It's definitely been quite the trip. And yeah, cheesecake for everybody. Let's
Shout out to Billy Vance, Fred, and Keaton. And shout out John Cena and also Captain Planet.
He's our hero, and he's gonna take pollution down to 0.
Egg fucking Zach.
Apparently, if you shout out the correct person, they bring you booze. So I got some New England hard cider. So cheers, everybody.
Shout out Lexi.
I'd shout out my partner, but I know for a fact she's upstairs.
I'd like to shout out the beer fairy. I could use a brew. Bring me one, please. Let's see if it works.
Come on, Larry, pull through.
Shout out to whoever wants to send me a buzzball.
Oh, I very much regretted drinking that buzzball last night. It did not, I did not get buzzed. I got drunk. Sorry.
I learned today my goddaughter doesn't just call me her godmother, she calls me her fairy godmother. So she told everybody at the party today. She's 7. It has to have been one of the cutest memories. Because she even drew it in picture form. My fairy godmother. She's a little bit like. Where's he?
Shout out to Megan's birthday.
Technically, it's your birthday here in the UK,
Yeah,
so
well,
happy birthday.
Yes.
I can technically be the first one to say happy birthday.
Oh, I think, yeah. Yep, just slightly over the hill, but age is just the number at this point. Well, that's what I'm telling myself, anyways.
Shout out to Lake's background.
Okay. I have the votes. At this time, if anybody has an idol or an advantage and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right. Once the votes are read, decision is final. The person voted out will be asked to leave the tribal council Zoom call immediately. First vote. Eleanor. Chrisanne. One vote Eleanor, one vote Chrisanne. Eleanor. Two votes Eleanor. Chrisanne. That's two votes Eleanor, two votes Chrisanne. Eric. That's two votes Eleanor, two votes Chrisanne, one vote Eric. Eric, we're tied. Two votes Eleanor, two votes Chrisanne, two votes Eric. Chrisanne, that's three votes Chrisanne, two votes Eleanor, two votes Eric. Eric, that's three votes Eric, three votes Chrisanne, two votes Eleanor. Chrisanne, that's four votes Chrisanne, three votes Eric, two votes Eleanor. Eric, we're tied. Four votes Eric, four votes Chrisanne, two votes Eleanor. Eric, that's five votes Eric, four votes Chrisanne, one vote left. Ninth person voted out of Survivor Deja Vu, and the first member of our jury, Eric. That's six. That is enough.
Good game, y'all. I love you guys. I think there's so many good game players here, and I'm so proud of everyone's game. Wasn't expecting it at all. Really good blindside. I had no clue. I'm so excited to see how this turns out. I'm glad to be part of the jury. I wasn't expecting that. But you guys kill it. Make me proud. I love you all.
Love you, Eric.
Love you, Eric. Hashtag
It
blindside.
shouldn't have been you.
Should not.
Great. So many of you may be wondering why there's 10 members of the jury. That's because this season we decided to give value and respect the fact that the final juror knows the most about the game as they go to the jury. So keep in mind, as you go all the way down to the end of this game, the last person voted out of this game will be casting two votes at final tribal council.
Oh, yum. Now
So
that's a twist.
So think about how you get yourself to the end of this game if you are lucky to do so, that final vote off is going to carry more weight than ever before.
Can they be spicy and vote for both people?
They can.
Period.
They can. That vote can be that they have two votes. They don't have to use them both
That's
towards one
boring,
person.
though.
Well, then.
That's like a negative vote. That's like no vote.
All right. With that being said, the stream ends here. Good night, America. Welcome to the jury phase.